think it's my first meetup here with so many people. Thanks for coming and for the interest. I'm very astonishing about how many people using VR, and that's good. That's really good, I think, for everybody and for everyone. And yeah, today we wanted to have a short presentation and for design thinking sprints in VR. So, and I wanted to give you some ideas and insights what we do in MMS with the tool Glue. And so we are very proud that we can use it and that we have so many positive feedbacks, and I wanted to talk a little bit about it. So that's why my first citation here comes from Jonas Schmitterlein. He's a researcher from LMU Munich, and his slogan is one of them what I found very important and where I also have the feeling the journey starts really good in XR, so because immersion is the main driver of users' intention to collaborate. And that is all about our design thinking workshops that we had in the last months there. We tested it and had some learnings there, and then this is what I want to present you. So just a short word about design thinking sprint, how we understood it. So normally for the facilitators who are educated in this or trained in this method set, we call it also design thinking in a nutshell, and we transferred it in in 1 hour format. So the idea was to walk through a cycle of design thinking from getting a challenge to making the interviews, getting the feedback, and redefining the ideas and getting feedback again. So, and then creating a prototype and test it, and with the test user and also with a bigger audience. So that's what we call a design thinking sprint. You can see here the hard timeline, so time boxed very hard, and this was very important for us, so that the the battery time from our VR glasses are not crashing them, and then after 1 hour we know the most of the participants will get a little bit tired about it. And what we wanted to find out here, and what we found out was that in 1 hour, a double team or a body team working with a small amount of tools from Glue. So it's the timer, it's the whiteboard, and it's the pen, or the 2D pen and the 3D pen. We used Mount Matisse in a custom edition, let me call it like that. So we had version without the tables and the chairs there, and if everyone is familiar with Mount Matisse, he has this breakout team spaces there, so we used this 3 of them, and the challenge was to create ideas for XR in office, for office workers. So how can XR help different guys help making efforts in their working time, and we use as a challenge this new Nreal model as an imagination, as an image, and it's not in VR device, it's an AR device or MR, mixed reality device, but it was important to give a challenge. And what we found out is that VR is perfect for creating also AR applications or thinking about AR applications, because we have this virtual space and we can do virtual things there. And this was the thing. Overall time was 1.5 hours, because we have the setup to the briefing, so what about, to making the agenda, making some tool tests there. And so this is how it works. And I brought you also a mini model of the place we used or we created. So that was very important to set up also an architecture of the space, and you can see it's two guys, A and B, and working together in one space, and have different touch points. So from let me call it from an interview. So they have to do an interview to write a board, then create from this interview the main ideas or the core thinkings. And from this core thinkings or the core sentences, they have to go to create minimum 4 ideas, also on a whiteboard with the pen. And for that, they have to get the feedback, and that's what you can see here. We have this in this place here, these arrows where they met together. So and jump over to the other one, seeing the ideas on the there and giving critics and positive feedback, negative feedback, or critic feedback, more improvements. And then the guy who is having the idea is going back to this stage to redefine his idea. Oh, sorry, of this one to have this final idea, and then jump to the prototype section and uses the 3D pen and create these ideas, what he learned from the user from the other side. And so we have an really closed feedback loops there and ideation loops, time boxing, so maximum 5 minutes for everyone. So it was really hard, really tough for them, but I think it works really good, because this was the feedback afterwards that I wanted to show you. So we make a lot of measurements, a lot of questionnaires there. So my panel is a little bit laggy here to load stuff. Yeah. Okay, sorry. I was jump back. So normally you have in 3 success factors in workshop. You have this exchange moment, so all about communication and collaboration. You have this activity part, and then you have this well-being part. So all these 3 sectors or dimensions ensure the success of the workshop. So it's like today. It's a little bit the same thing. And what we learned is that you need to have a natural communication. So that's what we found also in Glue here. So I can speak to you, I see you, you're looking at me, I can see, okay, you don't turn your back on me, so you're on my side, maybe you can hear me, and you're maybe making some gestures if you want to know something or want to say something. And that's really good, that's really natural, the feelings about it. Also the avatars looking, yeah, in a little bit comic-like, but abstract enough to don't disturb the communication situation. So that's very nice. What we learned here, so we have experience with different VR tools, but the avatars, when they go to freaky or to realistic, we have this uncanny valley effect. I think maybe you know it. That the avatar should not be too realistic, and so that's why what we learned here, the avatar construction from the avatar design from Glue works very well to focusing on the work, not on the avatar itself. So that's a good thing. So then what's also necessary for exchange, to have a good overview over the participants, so I can see you relatively easily. So I think the group beside is maybe talking and you're on my side. Then of course, what's always important to have this time schedule. I was the moderator or facilitator of this session. So my first thinking was, okay, when I have 3 teams in different spaces, maybe it's too stressy to jump all the time between the spaces, but it was a good thing that it's easy to jump with the controllers there or with the locator tools here in Glue. So it was easy to control or to manage or to monitor the breakout session teams and to get a good feeling so that they work for themselves. And this was the next thing. what was very important. So we had a really good workshop concept because we made all the tasks that they have to do on this boards, and every one of the participants could read for themselves and ask for themselves what I have to do the next thing, so that they get more and more in the independent way. So me, for myself as a moderator, it wasn't necessary to interrupt or to help so much, so I could easily chill out and just watch what the people are doing. So that was really great. The one and only, yeah, let me call it negative point was to switching the tools, because I have the timer, I have the pictures here, I have to do some photos, and then this was a little bit complicated because you are, yeah, switching and controlling all the time. So that's maybe something to improve in the future. And yeah, what's the next thing? What's very important is the exchange in a communicative situation. So what we learned, it's really easy to create ideas in Glue because of this different tools you have. You can do it in 2D and also in 3D. And we learned there is no clear tendency. So there is someone who are creating more with the 3D pen. It's important for him to express the self in 3D, so with the environment, use the environment, and creating some scribbles there with the 3D pen, or using 3D shapes, some primitives, for example. We didn't have it, but we learned that it would be good to have them in the future. And it is also very important to have a clear orientation. That is what you can see here on this model. So we have described the stations, we gave them numbers, and we have also some icons for the timer. How many minutes do you have for it? Is it a single task or a double a team task? So we had some icons on the images there. So it was easy for the participant to work for themselves. So then the second thing, the third thing is the activity. Yeah, what we learned is very important. So all of the participants were involved in former times in Glue. So I think they are mainly fit in VR, but it was necessary to have in the setup and in the briefing time to take the timer and look how it's to use. Take the whiteboard, how is it to use? Give some hints, for example, don't use too thick pencils. Use the smallest pencil to get as much as text as possible on this whiteboard, for example. So we have the guys were familiar, the participant were familiar with the tools, but it was very important to have a test run. So, and that's what we learned. What we also learned is what are the most liked activities in VR. The one was the feedback and the interview and the feedback situation. So because for everyone it's really new to make an interview, so that was really to get the why and the why questions. We call it 5 why questions. So what, who, where, when, who is doing it, and so on. And for example, or what is most important, so why are you doing it? So get on deep on the motivations of the guys to understand how do they work in office spaces and what could we improve with XR glasses, for example. And this was very hard for the people. It's totally normal. So it's not there's no difference between VR and real life to take these interviews. Then yeah, the most liked on second place is 3D visualization. So for the most of the people who are not designers, who are also project managers and, for example, also coders, it was very interesting to do it and to express themselves in 3D. So using the space, using the arms, using the whole environment around myself. Then, of course, presentations and discussions. So we have the idea, or the design thinking works like that. You have to create something, some small idea, some rough ideas, and to have to easily or as fast as possible present them to get the feedback. So do I walking in the right directions, or do I understand you right, or misunderstood you? So that's a really normal progress to get the understanding from my from the alter ego. And yeah, what's the next thing is also to have the structured thoughts. So that's why it was very good for the people to have this whiteboards. They are structured before. So working with templates, it's sometimes it's mostly very helpful for the people. So then, yeah, of course, place 5 is creating the ideas, and the drawing was also very cool for them. And then take notes, of course, place 6. So it's not easily to make the notes if you know it with doing it with a keyboard, with a virtual keyboard, is not so easy. And that's why it was very important to use the pencils. So okay, next and last part is the well-being here. So what we learned, and that was really great feedback from the participants in the end of the sessions. So they have good orientation. So we create a place without testing in front that works very well. So a good setup is very important for orientation and for free flow. And what we also learned, please do not too many stuff into it. So it was a good idea to reduce the tools, for example, and to do it in not so many ways. So to give them too much things in the hand. So that was really great. And yeah, helpful information sign is, I think, is a question of setups. And yeah, there was one thing I was very happy about it. One of the guys said, okay, he never felt that he was that the design thinking workshop is working with 1 hour. He said it was 30 minutes, or he felt it was 30 minutes. So he was so motivated. And the second participant said what he don't expected was that he came in this flow feeling, and he was very happy about it, that he that he completely forget everything about time and space around him. So, and I think this is a really good result here that we have, that the participants feel very well without cyber sickness and so on, and additionally are motivated and enabled to create and to collaborate. So that's why some conclusion here. So time management is important. It's in real world. Yeah, the best methods works with exchanging and 3D. Mixing of 2D and 3D is totally normal. So we have also some, for example, some coders, they are not familiar with drawing and so on, and that was not the right tool for them. For them, it was better to write it down. So, and that's why it's important to have this mixture of this method. Then structure room, I said it, yeah, and orientation is very important. And then what we also learned is this different size ratios. What it means, we need a lot of space in VR, more space than in real life. So it's easier to create a node and in real life because of the resolution. So the resolution from VR is a little bit too rough, and to write something it's not. So the resolution is not good enough at the moment. So that's why, yeah, maybe future devices will help us more, and that's why it's important to understood. You have to plan in larger sizes and in wider spaces. So, and here's some guidelines. Maybe if you want, I think it's repeatable. What I said, just in a short overview. And for this, I'm finished with that. And thank you for your attention.
Thank you, Frank.